Hello, this is Stoops, and today's HTUC video is on Tsukame. Tsukame will be getting a very good buff in C-Song in updates, but I just wanted to make a solo video just for this. This will be part 1 of the part 2 when it gets C-Song, so look forward to that. Today's video will be specifically on one specific set of Tsukame that I tell you guys. So yeah, counters and checks and teammates that you'll need to know in order to know how to use Tsukame in battles, as well as knowing general knowledge with sets, goals, and defensive typing, allowing you to know pretty much everything you will need to know for Tsukame to apply your knowledge in any situations. Today's video is all about how to use and counter Tsukame. So the role that Tsukame plays is an essential question I ask, and we can answer this question with the base stats. The base stats are really simple here, as the only bad stats it has is its melee attack and speed stat. Other than that, its other stats are either mediocre or they're pretty good. Speaking of mediocre stats, its range defense stat isn't the worst, but it isn't really the best, as this is on par with some frail offensive Lumians. However, the energy stat of 80 is a little bit on the lower end, but it is not too low, as this still allows Tsukame to use a wide array of heavy costing energy moves. Its HP stat is a little bit above average, as this is above most offensive Lumians, but its melee defense stat is where Tsukame really shines, as this melee defense stat allows Tsukame to tank an array of many melee hits. Its range attack stat of 111 is pretty good on Tsukame, because this does give Tsukame some type of pressure on most Lumians. So, what role does Tsukame play specifically? Well, because it hits decently hard and it does have setup potential, its defenses combined with its range attack stat will give it potential to be a great wall that can apply pressure on the opponent's team. So with that out of the way, let's talk about its defensive stats of Tsukame. Tsukame's defensive typing is pure water, so it has 3 weaknesses to plant, electric, and toxic. Plant types such as Totab and Nevermare will be some plant types to watch out for, and electric types such as Ikazune and Zulong, as well as some electric type users like Metatoad and Deldrix will also be some plant type or electric types to watch out for. And toxic types aren't really the most common things right now, but Barblast, Gobidemic, and Venolin, they are going to be some toxic types for you to watch out. And for resisting types, fire, water, ice, and metal, these are pretty good types to resist, as fire types such as Pyrolin and Chartiki, water types such as Garlash, C.B.O, and Kalos are some good types to switch in on. Ice types such as really only Tundralin and Barbadger and Himber are ice types that I would switch in on. Ice types like Wintrix, they don't really do the best. You don't really do the best against them because they are range attackers and you do have the lower range attack stat, but if it comes down to it, then you can do that. And middle types, specifically Stratosaur and Tyrex, are great ones to switch in on. So with that out of the way, let's talk about Tsukame's defensive set. Tsukame's defensive set will have the ability Quick Recovery. Quick Recovery will allow you to clear any statuses you have once you switch out, which is basically a free Mysterious Dust without the item. And this is Tsukame's pretty much only defensive oriented ability. Its personality will be very robust and frail sluggish. This is so we can max out our melee defense stat and we can tank as much as possible. Our item of choice will be the Energy Orb, where Tsukame will be able to use a lot of moves, and because this is really the only item that Tsukame would appreciate, since Health Amulet, it doesn't need it because it has Rejuvenate, and it has too low energy to abuse the heavy items. Frost Beam and Body Crash and Maroon will be our 3 main attacking moves. Frost Beam is mainly to catch Nevermares off the switch, but if you don't really want to do that, then you can sub in Peace of Mind or other moves and maybe C-Song once it releases. Body Crash is for scaling with its melee defense stat. It also helps us pretty well against metal types that can set up on us, and typeless types and bug types in case you're not running Frost Beam. And Maroon is mainly here because it does drain energy, which is pretty good and is a pretty safe option compared to running Tsunami, where you would need to sacrifice a bit more energy TPs to actually take advantage of that. And Rejuvenate is here to make us more will make us alive for more of the battle, as this gives us some longevity. And TP's 56 energy will allow you to use 1 Body Crash, 1 Frost Beam, and 2 Maroons. I'm pretty sure. And 200 HP and 200 melee defense, these are so you can max out your most important stats, and your 44 range defense will allow you, or well, it's pretty leftovers, so if you want to put it in any other stats other than the stats we're trying to lower, then that would be a good idea. So with that out of the way, let's talk about the defensive and offensive counters and checks, as well as your teammates. Offensive counters and checks are really simple because you're mainly going to want to run electric types like Zulong, Ikazune, and Phage Knot. Lumines who can use Thunder Strike like Deldrix is also pretty good, as well as Sachi. And melee plant types such as Colossotrops and other plant types are also good for it. However, they can be less consistent depending on what set they are and how bulky the Tsukame is in front of you. And for Lumines such as Cosmere Cracked, who can set up on Tsukame, this can also be a pretty good alternative to checking it. And as for offensive and defensive teammates, I wouldn't really recommend offensive because there are not much offensive Lumines that would directly benefit from Tsukame, but defensive Lumines such as Setamars, Chartiki, Pylon, and Venolin will also be pretty good to pair with Tsukame, as these Lumines can help mitigate the issues with electric and toxic types by using their resistances and their natural bulkiness. So overall, Tsukame does seem to be a pretty decent Lumion. It's not the best and is probably, and in my opinion, not that viable in the OU metagame because there are Lumines such as Barblast that can pretty much do what it does but provide more utility, such as Icicle Traps and Poison. You also have other water types like Luminami who can flash and flee, which is really useful utility. And as of right now, Tsukame just doesn't really have the best stats and movesets in order to compete. However, once it does get C-Song, that will probably be a different story because now it can hit hard and it does have something over than the other pivot water types, specifically Luminami, because as far as I know, C-Song will probably not be able to be absorbed. If you found the video informational, like the video if you can, and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I will be trying to update and upload more videos as I am now getting in the mood of it, so yeah. And finally, with that out of the way, remember that Zulong is still a dumpster fire.